Beloved, God's creation never ceases to fascinate and amaze me. The observable and ever-expanding universe is estimated to be more than 90 billion light-years across. This is an almost incomprehensible expanse when we consider that one would have to cover a distance of 9,460,730,472,580.8 kilometers in 1 year just to complete 1 light year. Given our own physical makeup and our current technology, jet and rocket propulsion, it is impossible for us to reach those speeds. The fact of the matter is that to date, no human has ventured farther than 1.3 light seconds from the Earth. It takes 1.3 seconds for light to travel from the surface of the moon to the Earth. As a matter of interest, light is defined as the rectilinear propagation of photons, and photons are elementary particles. It is the stuff which light is made up of, and it has zero rest mass. Therefore, it does not experience time as we do. In any event, if you think that you are sitting still right now, our planet is orbiting the sun at 30 kilometers per second, or 108,000 kilometers per hour. And at the same time, our solar system is moving at an average velocity of 828,000 kilometers per hour. But even at that high rate, it still takes us about 230 million years to make one complete orbit around the Milky Way galaxy. The galaxy itself is moving through the universe at 600 kilometers per second as it moves towards our nearest galaxy, a neighboring galaxy, the Andromeda galaxy, which is 2.5 million light years from the Earth. As you were reading the last few sentences, we traveled 3,000 kilometers in our orbit around the sun, which takes 365 days to complete. Thus, the Earth travels approximately 2.56 million kilometers per day in this orbit. Finally, to get a sense of scale, the Earth's circumference is 40,075 kilometers, as opposed to the 9.5 trillion kilometers per year it takes to complete 1 light year. To date, the record time set for a non-stop flight to circumnavigate the Earth, i.e. the 40,075 kilometers, was in a military B-52 in 1980, which took 42 hours and 23 minutes. The jet propulsion and rocket technology, which we use today, is approximately 90 years old and was developed and derived from Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion states that when one body exerts a force on a second body, the second body simultaneously exerts a force equal in magnitude and in an opposite direction to the first body. Whilst these numbers are mind-boggling, we pay scant attention to them in our daily lives, since it does not affect our daily interactions. Yet we live in the context of this incredibly dynamic, high-speed, yet ordered situation called God's creation, and it is revealed in the Word of God as follows. Who else has held the oceans in his hand? Who has measured off the heavens with his fingers? Who else knows the weight of the earth, or has weighed the mountains and hills on a scale? Isaiah 40, verse 12. This verse refers to God measuring the universe with the span of his fingers. In other words, he opens up his fingers, is the span of his hand, and that is how he measures the expanse of this 90 billion light years. Can you bind the chains of Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt? Can you bring forth the constellations in their seasons? Do you know the laws of the universe? Can you use them to regulate the earth? God asks Job in Job 38. He determines the number of stars and calls them each by name. That's the psalmist tells us in Psalm 147, verse 4. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place. Psalm 8, verse 3. By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, their starry hosts by the breath of his mouth. That is how God created the universe. He spoke it into being. He spoke everything into being. He also made the stars. God set them out in the vault in the sky to give light to the earth. Genesis 1, verses 16 to 7. Surely the nations are like a drop in a bucket. They are regarded as dust on the scales. Isaiah chapter 40. I encourage you to stay blessed. Shabbat Shalom as we meditate on the wonder of God's universe. Stay blessed.